Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec), Professor Attahiru Jega, yesterday said constitutional provision that prohibits use of technology was a militating factor against electronic voting in the country. Jega therefore urged the National Assembly to remove the legal encumbrance for electronic voting to be possible. He also blamed the National Assembly for opposing the use of the electronic transmission of results, arguing that the method is cost-effective and easier to deploy. The political science professor said this in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, at a lecture organized by Kwara Visionaries Network for Rural Development. The lecture was entitled Politics, Governance and Leadership Recruitment in 21st Century Democracy. He said, the National Assembly, after 2019 elections, promised to review the electoral legal framework, which will improve the integrity of the Electoral Commission. The most important issue that can add value to the integrity of elections, they are jettisoning that because of self-serving interest. We have upscaled the integrity of the Nigerian Electoral Commission with incremental use of technology. Now we have to get to a point where the pilot scheme that has been done in Inec since 2012 of using electronic transmission of results, Inec in itself said it can rarely use it in the 2023 elections. In fact, Inec used it in some elections in parts of the country. It's a pilot scheme which all stakeholders have been observing and said it is good. The next thing is to remove the major hindrance in the use of technology because there is a constitutional provision which says that electronic voting is prohibited. Many Nigerians who are in support of electronic voting are blaming INEC for saying it cannot use electronic voting. They are forgetting there is a legal provision that says electronic voting is prohibited. Now people are hoping that the National Assembly will remove that encumbrance, not necessarily for INEC to plunge into electronic voting in 2023, but for it to identify the best electronic voting system for the country. People are also saying that electronic transmission of results is easier to deploy. It is most cost effective compared with the use of electronic voting. So why not begin with the electronic transmission of results? On the one hand, the lawmakers said INEC is permitted to do electronic voting provided it does not do electronic transmission of results. In fact, what they are saying is that they are not allowing INEC to do electronic voting because they do not want electronic transmission of results. Unfortunately, the National Assembly is opposed to the use of electronic transmission of results. From my personal experience in INEC, one of the major ways in which the integrity of the electoral process is undermined is in the manual transmission of results from the polling units to ward, local, and constituency levels. He added that if the Electoral Commission is impartial and tries hard to improve the integrity of the electoral process, if the dominant factors, political parties and candidates, lack integrity and want to win either by hook or crook, they will be undermining the integrity of the Electoral Commission. That is what we have seen. We cannot compare the elections of 2011, 2015, and even 2019 with 2007. We have gone ways in lifting the bar, but a lot needs to be done to improve the integrity of the electoral process. Also speaking, ace journalist Babajide Kolade Otitoju said the controversy surrounding the use of electronic voting is meant to ensure the people cannot freely choose their own leaders. If the fidelity of our elections is guaranteed, the people will be able to choose the best for them. Where politicians feel comfortable to rig elections and will fully take away the independence of INEC, a national electoral body, they will not feel that they are responsible to the people. There's nothing so bad for the people than to realize their votes do not count or that politicians can win elections in spite of the voter. INEC, they've been in this battle with the National Assembly. At the National Assembly, we know it's Buhari's National Assembly. The way they act, the way they respond, the way they draw their conclusions Is everything in line with what Buhari wants? So we know Buhari himself, he's made this statement times without number that he wants to be fully represented. He wants to be well represented in 2023 presidency. What that means is that come 2023, the president of Nigeria is going to have is someone that he has access to, someone that is loyal to him, so that by extension, he can also have his say. He can still have a hand in the government. He doesn't want to remove hand from power. And he knows that he cannot achieve that because his government has failed. He did not do well. The 6 years plus, and by 2023, 8 years, there will be nothing to show for it. All of the election promise, all of the campaign promises, everything he talked about, no one he's fulfilled. He had 6 point agenda at that time when he was campaigning. The three major ones Nigerians are holding on to and cannot forget is the security of the country. He talked about ending insecurity. He talked about the economy, and he talked about corruption. All of these things are before our faces. We can see the way the things are, the way they still are in our different states and our different communities, that Buhari has not done anything. So with that, he knows that Nigerians will not support him. Voters, the electorate will not support him. The only way to do this is to rig the election. The only way to do this is to fight hard. And you see, that is why they've been coming up with all sort of excuses that electronic transmission of results will not be possible. Jega Atahiru, right now, we know he was former Inec commissioner. Although Jega is trying to fight back to attack President Muhammad Buhari's government and all of these, what is going on right now. But Nigerians are telling him that he is part of all of these things going on because he played a major role in APC rigging the election that saw Goodluck Jonathan losing out. It was the first time in history where an incumbent president will lose an election. We know right now he's coming out telling Nigerians that Nigerians should not vote for APC or PDP. They're even trying to form a third party. But what he's speaking right now, he's letting Nigerians know that electronic transmission of results, Buhari's government doesn't want it. But the first thing is that what they actually talked about again is the electronic voting. He's telling Nigerians that what they should be aware is that electronic voting is not anywhere in the constitution. It's not permitted. It's not allowed in the constitution. And if Buhari is putting that one forward, the electronic voting, he knows very well that at the end of the day, he will not still accept electronic transmission of results. So what Jega is actually saying is that the constitutional provision that prohibits the use of technology is actually a militating factor against the electronic voting in the country, and is urging the National Assembly to remove the legal encumbrance for electronic voting to be possible. National Assembly, that's Buhari's National Assembly. Anyway, guys, let's hear your own take. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.